Hi guys! So today I have another Halloween card process video. This is card number 3 and I'm adding the card mat onto the card base. And the card base is from DCWV, the Once Upon a Time stack. It's the volume 2 one. So I'm just adhering the mat onto the card base. And that is from this paper pad. It's the Fancy Pants Everyday Circus. I took out one of my We Are Memory Keepers Sweetheart inkers, and that's the black one. And I'm going around all the edges. I just feel that inking around the edges really completes the card, especially for this type of project. And here I'm adding the mat on the inside. I wanted to do most of the inside at the beginning because I knew I wanted to add some stickles to the front of the card and it would be harder to do once I added the stickles. So here I have the cauldron and I cut that out of the Create a Critter 2 cartridge and I cut it at 5 3/4 inches. Here I'm inking around it with my We Are Memory Keepers Sweetheart inker, and that's the brown one. And the pattern paper that I used for that is the DCWV, what is it called? I think it's called Pumpkin Patch. And now I'm adding the foam tape. And I added 2 strips of it. And I wanted the top of the cauldron to not be popped up, and you'll see that in a second. But I did want that top portion to be popped up on 2 layers, so it'll look more 3D. And again, I love this foam tape because it is, you can easily tear it with your finger. So here I'm adding some ATG tape to the top of the cauldron and the handles because I did not want those popped up. And now I'm just trying to center it in the middle and press it down, and then press down the top of the cauldron so it would be flat against the card. I thought that would make it more 3D looking. Here I'm cutting off the excess of the cauldron with my Tim Holtz scissors. And I used the Tim Holtz scissors because there was a little bit of foam tape off on the edge and I didn't want to ruin my other scissors with that. And here I came back with my Sweetheart inker to ink up the bottom with black. And I got some on my hands. It's just pretty much a given when you're using inks and inking around the page and stuff. So you'll see my hands got kind of inky on there. So here I just got a strip of blue wood grain paper that's also from the Fancy Pants Everyday Circus paper pad. And I'm adding some ATG tape on it. And here I'm just fiddling around with it a bit to see where I want it. And I'm just going to cut off the excess with my scissors. And again, here I got that Sweetheart inker and inked around there. I got these 2 bottles of Poison and Witch's Brew, and those are from a Martha Stewart pack, which you'll see in a second. Here I'm adhering down that one. It does have adhesive on the back, so I didn't have to add any. And I cut off the top of it so it would be open. That way it could be pouring out the liquid from there. Here I have the little potion bottle. It was too big and I did want to keep the top in the card. So I just cut off the bottom. I inked the bottom so it wouldn't look so, bad. And then I cut around the edges so it would look like the bottle actually finished there and I didn't just cut off the bottom of the bottle. So now I am pressing it down on the shelf, and it is off a bit from the card, you can see it, and since this does have adhesive on the back, it's going to be sticky, and I didn't want that to get stuck to anything. So I just got a little piece of white cardstock that I had on my desk, and I put it on the back of that top of the bottle. That way, lint or dust or stuff won't get stuck on it. And I just used my scissors to cut that out. And there you can see the 2 bottles on there, and it only fit 2, or else I would have put some more, but I put those and you can see them there. They're from the Martha Stewart Elegant Witch pack, and it's an acid pack. I think it's about 2 years old. Now I got out this rub-on pack from K & Company, and I've had this for quite a long time. I'm trying to use up my stash. So I just got my Fiskars X-Acto knife. It's the one that you put on your finger, and I like using the edge of that to press down rub-ons. I don't use rub-ons too often, just because I am bad at using them, but I tried to use it here because it had the perfect sentiment that I wanted for the card. And it says bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. The T had actually stuck on to the rub-on sheet, so you'll see me putting that on with my finger in a second. See, there it is. I just got it and put it on there. I didn't want the whole sentiment to go to waste just because that T had been left on the pack. So there's the sentiment. And now I want to adhere some little enamel dots, and these were handmade by me. They were made using the, what are those called, the perler beads. I used the mini perler beads to make those, and I'm just using some green and purple ones, and I put a little bit of glossy accents there on that scrap piece of paper, so I'm just dipping it in lightly and adhering that onto the card. I like doing that better than adding the glossy accents straight on the page or on the enamel dot. That way I don't make a big mess. Now, see, there's the little perler, the enamel dots I made. So now I'm going to add the stickles. This is the Firefly stickles, and I'm adding it onto the cauldron so it looks like it's full of goo or greenish liquid. And I want it to look like it was seeping out from the cauldron, so I made it dripping out like that, and I made some shorter and longer just so it would look more realistic. And that's it for that. Then I got the lavender stickles, and that I'm putting it as if it were pouring out of that witch brew. Is it called witch brew? I can't really read it, I forget what it says, but that little witch's bottle, and I put a little bit on the cauldron so it looks like it's just pouring in and it's not all over the cauldron yet. And I'm adding a few dots around the card just so it would give it a little bit more interest. And here I have this little bling that I've had again for a long time. I think I got that at Target. And I just added 2 of those. I added one at the top by the potion bottle and then one there by the cauldron. And I got my Firefly stickles out, just had a few tiny little dots just so it would come together better. So there's the front of the card. And now I'm going to try to decorate the inside, but I'm not going to be too successful because the front is really wet and I really did not want to mess it up. So I won't adhere things fully on the video, but you'll see in a second. So I just cut out that paper and I'm inking around it with my black ink, and I'm going to adhere it with the HEG tape, and that'll be the space to write on the inside. And I was just messing around with it. I didn't know where I wanted to put it, so I ended up putting it vertically right there. And this is a cauldron that I had cut out with my Cricut. I was going to use it for the front of the card, but it was too small, and that's why I have 2 of them. So I decided to use this one on the inside so it wouldn't go to waste. But again, I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, so I ended up putting it there on the left side. And it didn't stick too well. You'll see it doesn't. I'll end up sticking it better once the stickles dry. But again, I'll do that after the video so you won't see that. Here I had a little sticker that says Frightfully Delightful. And you'll see in a second how I did it. Again, I didn't put that on camera, but here's the front of the card, all finished. And here's the inside. I just put "Have a Frightfully Delightful Halloween." And I just added some stickers there and the Martha Stewart acetate sheet. And that is my card. So thanks for watching. Bye.